Friends, in studio with us, we have first-time guest and yet doing unbelievable things in the community, Lisa Hanson of First Step, North Dakota. Am I getting all that right?
The next step.
The next step. See, there I am. Look at that. I know First Slink and holy cow. I even looked at my notes right before this too. Shame on me.
That's okay.
Tell us about Next Step ND.
Okay, so I started the work 8 years ago, and the Next Step ND is we're trying to bridge the gap for women and men that are coming out of trafficking, and once they're out of shelter or
hold on, let's pause.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. People that are coming out of trafficking. Let's educate our listeners. Okay. What is trafficking and how prevalent is it in our area? Because I think we just kind of turn a blind eye to most things.
Right. So human trafficking is here. It's not just a global issue. There's sex trafficking and labor trafficking, and it's people that are being forced to do something for an exchange of money or food or for whatever it is. And there's always a trafficker involved because it's always a profit. It's a supply and demand issue. So a lot of people are allured, or, you see the movie Taken, and yes, that does happen, but it's a lot more rare, especially around here. But here, a lot of people are allured through social media. I've helped men that were lured here from Mexico that were labor trafficked on farms. A lot of women that I work with, obviously, they're more they're the sex trafficked and teens. The average age of girls that are trafficked is age 12 to 14.
Lisa, how does that not rip your heart out?
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened when I heard the statistics and how young this is. And the girls are getting younger and younger because there's a demand for younger and younger girls. You're
telling me that this is happening in North Dakota?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
How?
Right. Isn't that because we don't see it? Like, years ago, you'd see people, prostitution was on the sidewalks and, bigger cities. It's, they're walking, but there's a trafficker that they're being controlled and these girls are being groomed and they don't have a way out. There is no choice. So it's kind of a stigma because you think, well, these girls can walk away and they can't. The social media and the internet is the new sidewalk. And so that's what's running this now.
So 8 years ago, this is introduced to you that this problem exists not only overseas, but certainly in our backyard.
Right.
And you felt compelled to do something.
Yes.
Okay. What does that something look like now?
So that something looks like I really have a passion to be speaking about what's driving this, the demands driving this, and a high percentage of men. And it's we live in a highly sexualized culture. So pornography is the driver of this in social media. Girls are being lured through the social media. There's problems right here in North Dakota and in Fargo. We have a strip club that helps support, and drive the demand. We have 2 interstates that go through Fargo, and because of that, we have truck stops, and that's a big red light district for trafficking.
I had never thought of us being at this interesting crossroads.
Yep.
Okay.
So that kind of drives it. So there's just a lot of little things like that. And so I'm trying to get awareness and education to the teens and the girls and what this looks like and how to see the red flags and parents to be on top of the social media issue with their kids and their phones and to be talking to them about how the lures look and the dangers of pornography and getting ensnared with that. Teen boys, the average age of boys looking at pornography is age 8. What? Yes.
Age 8. That is prepubescent.
It's crazy. And boys are trafficked too. So I don't think people understand. It's not just girls. 1 in 4 is a boy. So.
And are those for sex trafficking reasons?
Yes.
Oh, man! If you ever want to have your heart ripped out, pay attention to what's happening in this world. The number of trafficked people in the world is like over 40 million from the last stat I heard.
It's crazy. Yep, and they say that it grows by 1 million in a year.
Oh my gosh!
So,
and I think you named it when you said that the internet is really and social media is the new sidewalk, which where people can see this. Lisa Hanson in with us from First Step ND.
The Next Step ND.
I was going to say I wasn't going to do it. No, I'm so sorry, Lisa.
Okay, you're so
Next
close.
Step. I've had a rough morning. This is just a tough go of it. Lisa Hanson from Next Step ND. I'm so sorry for that. But you are doing great things in the Red River Valley and in North Dakota. What do those things look like? Because obviously awareness is one of them, but you have a mission that's out there. You're raising some money to fight this. What does all this look like?
Right. So a few years ago, we started a fundraiser called Purses for a Purpose, where people would bring a purse, and we will stuff those purses with toiletries and things that a lot of women don't get in the shelter. And then we tie a note around a wooden cross with a note from the Next Step ND, just to show them that we're here. And as soon as they get out of shelter and they need help, that's where the Next Step ND comes in. So our fundraiser helps to support the financial need of, we do so many things. We get all our requests from the shelters when they're helping these girls get back on their feet.
Yeah.
And we help them with rent, utility, food, clothing, daycare, medical needs, just car repairs, gas. I mean, the list is endless because they have so many obstacles of them trying to get established and back on their feet, and they really need community and support from us. And so we have a fundraiser coming up, Purses for a Purpose, and that is on March 31st at the Avalon, so people can go to our website and purchase tickets for that. So
I see two sides of this. The first side is, of course, prevention, trying to keep it from happening.
Right.
That is so complicated.
Yep.
And to try to figure out not only to stop those that are the predators, but to also keep those from being lured in. So you're fighting two sides on that, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, once somebody is trafficked or in just a terrible place, I can't imagine the brokenness that gets associated with that. I don't care if you're 8 years old or 80 years old or anywhere in between. Having somebody take advantage of you like that must be the most uncomfortable and painful and shame-filled place to be. And then here you are helping out. Like that is a tremendous calling that you're doing, and to work with these folks to give them a better chance. I know you have stories. I know you've seen this firsthand. How does redemption happen?
You know, that's part of this. So I'm a ministry, and I'm a Christian-based ministry. And through this, you know, the one thing we hope that we can do is give these girls a hope and a purpose. A lot of them just, they ask me, don't talk to me about God because He hasn't been there for me. You know, these girls have been. It's hard for them to even receive items from me because they're like, Lisa, you don't understand that. We have never been able just to be given something. We have to work for everything we have. There's always a string attached. So it's like you have to make so much money per day, or, in order for them to eat, or they're always in debt to their traffickers. So for them just to receive things and simply love on these girls or men or whoever we're helping, it's difficult for them to receive things because they've been so brainwashed and groomed and just numbed to humanity and people just wanting to help you. That's a really hard thing to break because they've got walls up. They're very skeptical when I come in and try to help them in that area. So
it is
it's
a
long road.
It
is.
And it's a road worth being on. And thank you for being on that road.
Yeah.
We want to draw as much attention as possible to Next Step ND. Yes. Look at that. There it is. Third time's a charm.
Got it.
We want to draw attention to it. So what is your website? And again, March 31st is your event.
Right. So the Next Step ND, you can go on our events. You can purchase the tickets are $25 per ticket. And it's at the Avalon, March 31st. People can bring a medium-sized purse. It's not required. You can bring it. We have great apps. We have a great speaker lineup. We have people in the community that are going to be there. We have a lieutenant from Minneapolis who has done intense work in the human trafficking era, and he's going to speak to the demand side of the issue.
Sure.
And we have a survivor that's going to speak here in our community. So we just hope that we can leave people there going, what can I do about this, and how they can fight it in the community. And just a great fellowship time too for people. So good cause.
Lisa, you're doing great work. You're doing heavy work. You're doing work that is of a major purpose. And thank you for being a part of our community to make it better.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Again, Next Step ND, a big event coming up on March 31st. Give it all the attention in the world. Lisa, thanks very much for being here. And folks, we're going to head to the break. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.